Okay, so Dixie update. Still the same chart with those trend line we have here. We have been breaking this long-term uptrend. We broke through it, came back for the first time on the first attempt we had, and we bounced from the trend line. We pulled back, sorry, from the trend line. We had this move down, then the impulsive move we have been looking at, and we are now looking for a potential continuation of this first leg up. So to have a second leg up to the 94.50 or a little bit under it, 94.50, 45 level. So that's the big picture. If we look a little bit on shorter time frame, the important thing we had, and we call it last week, is we call a long a short Euro USD, a long USD at this level, because we had a confluence of weekly support, very strong weekly daily support, and we have the fib, the 38.2 fib, sorry, I moved it, the 38.2 fib of this complete move up, and that's exactly where we stop to the pip there. From the price action point of view, when we have a good momentum, like a good impulsive move, and that was a good impulsive move, as we can see on the weekly candles. And when we come back to the 38.2 fib, we consider that the 38.2 fib can be the bottom of the pullback. So we have this bounce, we had a pullback to the 38.2, and then we could very well from there bounce due to the fact that we had this good momentum before. Sorry. So that's interesting. That's where we bounced from. Then we had the NFP that has pushes up a little bit. We have this consolidation since we had the big weekly candle. I think we should see higher. We know we stop here on the 61.8 daily ABC. So it could be the end of the move. I would be surprised. Why? Because I look at that and that is telling me there is enough momentum to get something bigger than that. It can end anytime now, but I still think we can go higher. So the safe side, of course, from the risk reward point of view, is to be short USD, but we still know and think that we can get something higher, probably up to this level or some intermediary level here with the 93.90, which is the ABC one-to-one extension. We can see it here. We have everything there. We can look at that on a smaller time frame. So the first thing I want to point out is how, on the weekly candle point of view, we have been holding this 236. Let me put it on the bottom, the indication. How we have been holding on the bodies of the weekly candle that 236 ABC fib, if we take this daily ABC. So you remember how we did it. We took this Heikin-Achi candle, we took the daily time frame, and you have this daily move up, a pullback, and then we had some consolidation or reaction inside. But what is important, even if it's not clear like crystal water on the daily candles, and if you take the regular candles, it's even less clear. But when we look on the weekly candles, and that's what we have to do after important move and after each week close, we see how this thing has been holding nicely. So that's something that is validating the ABC for me, and that's something that is telling us we can still, confirming us, we can still look higher, or to the 1-to-1, or to the 1-to-72, together with the 38.2 of the big red fib. So that's something important. The other thing important about last week is the week before we had a complete reversal on the weekly candles, and then we bounce we bounce a little bit on the close. This week was the opposite. We had a bigger or nice move up, but those bottom are very important. Now, inside, if we go a little bit further inside, we see that we have several options from the flag point of view. So I draw it, let me find the chart. I draw it here. And we see here, that's what I'm adding to my tools. We see here that that's the bottom of this flag. We broke through it. We came back, retested it once. We came back to the 38.2 of the move up, bounced from it. That's what I just said. And then we bounce with the NFP and blah, blah, blah. So now, in the next days or inside week, we have to look at this line, at this bottom of the flag, because a retest of this bottom would be very interesting, especially if we would have together or a double top here or a double top there. So we will get short, of course, if that happens. We will get short USD, so long Euro USD, but that's what I'm looking for. Now I think this Dixie and the main reason are cleaner on the Euro USD, but I think we should first see a little bit of pullback on the Dixie, so bounce on the Euro USD, probably again to the same area, which is this red 2360, 2140 fib. We see how strong they have been, or the fib of the move up that we just spoke about. So we could probably, intra-week, I would say we could probably come back in this area and bounce from that area. That's what I will be looking at this week. There are some data, not very, very important thing, but that's what we could see. If we don't bounce here, if we do not bounce here, we could very well do it a little bit lower, probably on the 2140. You see that's an area of bounce, and if we don't, and if we have a signal confirmation, we could very well bounce back there. But that's the first area that we will look at and hope to see then a move up and a break of those high, and probably a break of the previous high of the first attempt, and then we would look at that higher. Okay. Concerning Euro USD, we have a clean thing. I just saw when I came back from my small days off on the small holiday I took. There is something that catch my attention, and the thing that catch my attention is this candle here, is this open candle of Sunday. And what has done the market here? The market has just clean completely all the week stop above the previous lows and even above the lows of Friday, where people have been trying to get long after this move, and they took along with a very tight stops probably. So this open has just take all the stops of this move. If we measure it from there, for example, you see that we went 30 pips down. So we clean everything, mostly everything. I took some long here, and I'm still running some long now because I think we should see a bounce from this area. And we are always looking at a potential turn up of the Euro USD. That should happen soon or later, but that will happen for sure. So here we tag to the peak the area we posted last week. We posted this chart with the three levels. They are concentrated in 120 pips or something like that. So all this big area now is the area where the Euro USD will give the move we expect to have. So that's why I say from the risk reward point of view, if I remember well, I had a target around 127 or even 128. If we think from the risk reward point of view, and that's what I do. That's why I say it every day. The safer side now is to be long Euro USD. It doesn't mean we will be long and hold the position, but that's where we have the safer side. I'm just looking for this thing that is doing okay. That's what I'm looking for. So if we take that, and even if we don't look at 128, but if we take the risk here we have, and the reward, you see the ratio is 7. So that's why I look with more size to be trading with more size, the long side of the Euro USD than the short side now. What is interesting in this chart, and we already saw it many times last week, it's the daily in black and the 4 hours in green ABCs. So that's what has helped us to trade last week a lot inside with some inside support and resistances. But you see how same thing, how we have been respecting the 236 here. If we look on the 4 hours, it's even cleaner. If you look on the daily, you see how we never close above this 236. So that keep it unviolated. So that helps or push more to the idea of something lower. Important is that Friday move stopped on the 61.8 of that daily ABC down. So 61.8 can be the end of the move. That's why it's tricky now, not only because it's summertime, but because we have possibilities that the move ends now or has been ending on this move. It could very well happen. And at the same time, we have good indication that we should go lower before. So that's why I will look carefully to be long as much as possible Euro USD or short USD, because there are many information that is telling us it can be the end, even if the overall view is not what I have for now. But we never know. On the ABCs, we never know when is the end between the 61.8 or the 1-to-1. The thing is that this big 236 fib, as I explained last week, are the one that let me think we should look for the next level at 38.2. But it's not 100% science. So we need to keep that in mind, and that's why we need to be very open-minded and take short or long when we can, being heavier and being very accurate on the long side of the Euro USD, on the short side of the DXY.